Hi everyone, Wayne Williams here from Profunda Analytics. In part 1 of this video, I described task-specific dashboards and the design elements that go into them. I then showed an analysis action cycle that the sales manager could use to improve the situation with Dr. Brian Keller, who was very slow in adopting X-Drug and wasn't receiving much communication from his sales rep. This was a very simple scenario involving only limited analysis. Today, I'd like to focus on the more complicated situation of Dr. Hartman, who is receiving lots of good quality communication from his sales rep, yet still isn't adopting X-Drug. To begin this investigation, we double-click Dr. Hartman. As before, we can peruse Dr. Hartman's profile to get to know him better. But the main point here is that there isn't any obvious deficiency in the sales rep communication pattern, shown down here toward the bottom. The sales rep has been in frequent contact with Dr. Hartman by email, phone call, and personal visits. In this case, unlike with Dr. Keller, we have to dig deeper, which we do by clicking this Dig Deeper button on the bottom right. This is not the fanciest screen you'll ever see in a BI dashboard, but it is one of the most powerful. Each of these rectangles represents a relevant analysis. In this scenario, which is behavior patterns for Andrew Hartman, there are only 6 to consider. In another scenario, there might be 20. The computer draws the sales manager to the ones of interest by using color. The rectangles colored dark pink represent situations that have a negative impact on Dr. Hartman's adoption of X-Drug. Those in green represent situations that have a positive impact. Those colored gray are neutral and thus not of interest. For example, this rectangle is telling us that historical adoption rates are a negative factor. To find out more, simply click it. The resulting screen contains 2 charts. The upper chart shows Dr. Hartman's adoption rate for new drugs compared to other doctors in his practice. The lower chart shows the same information for new procedures. As you can see, Dr. Hartman, who is represented by blue, is an average adopter of new procedures. But when we look back at the upper chart, we see that he is a very slow adopter of new drugs, which is why this analysis is considered a negative factor for the adoption of X-Drug. Does this mean that's simply the way it is and there's nothing the sales rep can do to improve the situation? Let's keep digging. This time, let's look at the leaders and followers analysis. This interface also has 2 charts. The top graph measures whether Dr. Hartman is a leader. It does this by trying to correlate changes in his use of medications to changes made by other doctors in his practice, taking into account various time delays. Yellow dots represent weak correlation, light brown dots represent mild correlation, and green dots represent strong correlation. As you can see, there is no green on this chart, so Dr. Hartman does not appear to be a leader. The lower graph measures whether Dr. Hartman is a follower, and here we finally do see some strong correlation. It appears that changes in Dr. Hartman's use of medications follow those of Dr. Brian Keller with a 2 to 3 month delay. Now wait a minute, the sales manager would likely say in response to this. Wasn't Dr. Keller the doctor that the sales rep hasn't been communicating with, as you can see here? Yet Dr. Hartman is the one that the rep's been pouring all this communication energy into. But if Dr. Hartman follows Dr. Keller's lead when it comes to changes in medication use, then the sales rep has it all backward. He should be putting all his efforts into convincing Dr. Keller to use X-Drug, and then just let Dr. Hartman follow along. Once the sales manager figures this out, she can share this information with the sales rep by right-clicking the white space, clicking Share, and then choosing to share by link, image, PDF, etc. The broader point here is that when it comes to task-specific dashboards, we need to support users with everything they need to complete the task in question, whether that be a simple analysis of communication patterns or something far more sophisticated like correlating changes in medication use. I'd also like to point out that while the actions shown in this demo amount to merely sharing screenshots with sales reps, it would be far more common to allow the user to take actions in the company's main operating system or software via a write-back mechanism. Regardless of the mechanism, you have to allow the user to complete their work cycle in the most efficient manner possible, whatever that may be. That's what makes a good task-specific dashboard.